Welcome back to Peacock TV. Spoilers, your home for all things Salem. Today is a beautiful day for some shocking daytime drama. Wait, is Chanel actually going to risk her own life and the life of her unborn baby just because of a rude doctor? Are you kidding me right now? Johnny DiMera is absolutely losing his mind watching his wife refuse medical care, but Chanel is dropping a massive bombshell. Chanel Dupree DiMera just had the absolute worst medical appointment of her entire life. We all know she is currently battling an aggressive breast tumor while pregnant, which is already a complete nightmare scenario. The official spoilers reveal that Chanel flat out rejects chemotherapy or any other treatment plan that her new doctor recommended. But here is the massive kicker. It is not just because of the risks to her baby. It is because her oncologist, Dr. George, has the absolute worst bedside manner in the entire history of Salem University Hospital. The spoilers indicate that he treated Chanel like a mere statistic, completely dismissed her valid concerns, told her to get off the internet, and literally told her to calm down. Chanel walked right out of that office and refused treatment. Now, Johnny is desperately pushing her to have a change of heart, terrified that he is going to lose his wife forever. Let's be real for a second, because I am absolutely furious on Chanel's behalf. Imagine sitting in a cold, sterile hospital room, terrified out of your mind because you just found out you have cancer and you are carrying a child. You are looking to this highly paid medical professional for guidance, for empathy, and for a lifeline. And what does Dr. George do? He treats Chanel like an annoying inconvenience. The absolute audacity of this man to tell a terrified, pregnant, cancer-stricken young woman to calm down. If I were Chanel, I would have flipped that examination table over and screamed in his face. The writers are hitting on a very real, very raw issue here about medical gaslighting, and the actress playing Chanel, Raven Bowens, is absolutely killing it right now. You can feel her sheer frustration radiating through the television screen. Here at Peacock TV, spoilers, we have been tracking this storyline closely, and we think Chanel is actually doing the right thing by fiercely advocating for herself. She is not crazy. She is not being irrational. She is demanding basic human respect. Chanel refuses to let some arrogant, dismissive doctor make unilateral decisions about her body and her baby. She told him her own statistics, she did her extensive research, and he literally talked down to her like she was a foolish child. You simply cannot put your life and the fragile life of your unborn child in the hands of a doctor you do not trust. If the trust is broken, the medical care is entirely compromised. Chanel is standing her ground, and honestly, I applaud her bravery. But the stakes are literally life and death, and time is running out. However, we have to look at the terrifying reality of Chanel's defiant decision. By walking away from Dr. George, she is actively delaying life-saving treatment. The spoilers make it very clear that this tumor is incredibly aggressive. Every single day she waits to find a new doctor or to formulate an alternative treatment plan is a day that the cancer aggressively spreads through her body. I am shaking just thinking about what could happen to her. Chanel thinks she is protecting her baby by refusing this specific doctor's rushed, impersonal chemo plan, but by doing absolutely nothing, she is putting both of them in extreme jeopardy. It is a heartbreaking paradox. She desperately needs a doctor who will listen to her fears, but she also needs to blast this cancer out of her body right this second. And then we have Johnny DiMera. Poor, sweet, terrified Johnny. Carson Boatman is playing this raw desperation so perfectly. Johnny is standing by, completely helpless, watching the absolute love of his life play Russian roulette with her health. The spoilers say Johnny is going to push Chanel incredibly hard to have a change of heart. He wants her to move forward with the treatment despite her intense hatred for Dr. George and despite the severe risks to the baby. Johnny is operating out of pure, unadulterated fear. He cannot even begin to imagine a world without Chanel in it. But by pushing her so aggressively, he is completely missing the core point. He is not listening to her either. Johnny is becoming just as suffocating as the doctor, and it is driving a massive, toxic wedge between them. I honestly believe Johnny and Chanel are speaking two completely different languages right now. Johnny is screaming internally, "Please don't die. Just take the medicine and deal with the jerk doctor," while Chanel is screaming, "I am fighting for my life, and nobody is treating me like a human being." If you ask me, Johnny needs to stop arguing with his traumatized wife and start fighting the broken medical establishment for her. Why isn't Johnny using that massive, endless DiMera fortune to fly in the best, most empathetic oncologist on the planet? Why is he trying to force her to submit to a doctor who blatantly disrespects her? Johnny needs to step up as a fierce husband, march into that hospital, and fire Dr. George himself. Let's connect this to some deep Salem history, because the parallels are giving me absolute chills. Think about Johnny's uncle, Abe Carver, and what happened with Lexi Carver years ago. Lexi had a fatal brain tumor. The entire family felt completely helpless as they watched her slowly fade away. Johnny grew up in a family that has seen the devastating, unstoppable effects of cancer. He knows that all the money and political power in the world cannot stop a terminal illness once it goes too far. That deep-seated family trauma is definitely fueling his intense panic right now. He is looking at Chanel and seeing the terrifying ghost of tragedies past. He is terrified that Chanel is going to end up just like Lexi if she doesn't act immediately, which is exactly why he is suffocating her. And what about Paulina Price? Paulina is already going through her own massive life crisis with Abe Carver and the resurrected Lexi drama. But we all know Paulina is a fierce, unstoppable fighter. When Paulina finds out that some smug, arrogant doctor told her precious daughter to calm down and get off the internet, I fully expect Paulina to march down to Salem University Hospital and unleash absolute hell on Dr. George. I would pay good money to see Jackie Harry tear that doctor to absolute shreds in the middle of the hospital corridor. Chanel desperately needs her mother's fire right now. Paulina would never, ever let Chanel settle for subpar medical treatment, and she certainly would not let Johnny force Chanel into something she is deeply uncomfortable with. So, what is the ultimate solution here? I think the writers are setting up a massive medical shift. Where is Kayla Brady when you need her? Or better yet, Sarah Horton? We know Sarah is currently dealing with her own messy, complicated drama with Xander and Brady, and she just tragically lost a patient, Destiny, to tainted drugs. Maybe taking on Chanel's highly complex oncology case is exactly what Sarah needs to refocus her medical career and save a life. Sarah is incredibly compassionate. She actually listens to her patients, and she knows exactly what it is like to lose a child. I heavily predict that Sarah will step in, take over Chanel's care and find a brilliant treatment plan that actually respects Chanel's autonomy while saving her life. But until that heroic intervention happens, we are heading for a massive, dramatic cliffhanger. Sweeps month is right around the corner, and this intense marital tension is going to completely explode. Johnny's blind desperation is going to push Chanel away right when she needs his support the most. If Johnny goes behind Chanel's back, maybe consulting with his ruthless father, E.J. DiMera, to legally force a medical intervention, it will permanently destroy their marriage. I can't believe the writers are making Johnny and Chanel go through this absolute torture after everything they have already survived. They beat the devil. They beat constant family interference. But this raw medical trauma might be the exact thing that actually breaks them apart forever. I am so emotionally exhausted just watching this storyline unfold. What do you guys think about all this drama? Is Chanel completely justified in refusing life-saving treatment from a doctor who disrespects her? Or is Johnny right to push her to do whatever it takes to survive right now, no matter how bad the doctor's attitude is? Drop your wildest predictions and passionate rants in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in to Peacock TV Spoilers. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a single Salem update. See you next time for more shocking spoilers.